Hey folks, it's Jeremy. Just want to remind you that the best way to support the show is by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. There's been all kinds of cool stuff happening on the Patreon. Gary and Cole just managed to fund their deep dive into H.P. Lovecraft movies, which I'm very excited about. So go check out all of that stuff, patreon.com/DuckFeedTV. In the meantime, enjoy some Hulk. I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where we are still hulking out for as long as our muscles will continue to let us. Gary, how are you today, my man?
I'm good. I think these episodes are a cure for Hulk fatigue. Like if you're like, boy, I'm all hulked out. No, you ain't. And then the finale is just like, oh no, you're hulked out.
Yeah, these are like you have been saying since the beginning that you wanted the show to get crazier and crazier, and I think the two that we're covering on this episode are some of the most bonkers cartoons that I've ever seen in my entire life.
So specifically, this first one is very special.
It's super weird and kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it is good, right? Like it can only be appreciated through the lens of like what.
I cried, Jeremy.
Okay, well, Gary,
like,
calm
you
down.
Can't say it's not good. Like I wept. I wept. I'm like, cry now. It's my new thing.
Yeah,
and,
I took an edible and I like got a little teary at that dog trailer in front of Spider-Man, but I didn't fucking talk about it on a podcast.
Man, I've been playing through Tetris Effect, and every once in a while, I indulge in some kind of edible weed thing. It's not very frequent, but boy, that's a really potent combination of things.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
If you hit up that Tetris Effect. I mean, this is super generic, but like I'm a lame wad, doesn't do a lot of drugs, so for me it's new. And you start Tetris affecting like right when edibles are like kind of hitting you really hard. It does something like to my eyes. It feels like my eyes are turning to stone or something like that. Like it's just like really amazing. And then when you blink, I have to like push away crust. Like I'm blinking. And it's requiring tons of effort, like I'm clearing snow with like windshield wipers or something. Like, just like, ugh. Like, it's very funny.
And that's not in VR mode, right? Like that's just on playing 2D.
No. This is just me but I do set very close to my monitor where I play it, so it's essentially VR because it's filling up my whole field of vision. It's not like VR. I am going to bring that game over to Will's and check it out on VR though, because I'm very VR resistant. In general, like it doesn't do a lot for me, but this might be a thing that like between this and Beat Saber are the two things where I could see it. I played so far. Everything else I've been like meh, but those two things I was like I can see it. I can see why this is special.
I got a new TV at the end of the year, and because of the way that Sony built their first PSVR like breakout boxes, they don't do like the fancy HDR pass through or anything. So if I want like fancy graphics for my fancy TV, I have to plug the PS4 pretty much directly into the TV, which means I'd have to like swap cables every time I want to use the PSVR. And I bought like a little $15 box that was supposed to just let me switch the outputs, but it just caused a ton of problems. So I actually haven't finished Deracine. I didn't play Tetris Effect in VR like I wanted to. Like I haven't done any of that stuff because I've been kind of just too goddamn lazy to do it, to be honest with you.
It's huge pain. Like switching cables is like a really weird, specific kind of pain. Like you can do it. I always, whenever I have all of my old systems, like I put them all together and I'm like, oh, this will be super easy. Like if I ever want to play, Crackdown or whatever, I'll just get out my Xbox 360 and just hook it up. It'll be no problem. And just the force of inertia means I will never do that.
Oh, 100% not. Like, yeah. If it's not hooked up to the TV at all times, like I'm just not going to, like, I don't even, like, I remember, like I had a controller or something for the PS2 or PS3 or something that wouldn't turn it on remotely, and it just meant that I had to go get a different controller. So if I wanted to play that system, so I could turn it on from my couch. But yeah, like that inertia is real, and bad.
I keep thinking I'm going to play, like I since I moved, I had all my systems out and stuff, and I have my Wii U set up by my TV as just this kind of nice, like little, like maybe I want to like pop that on and play play Cat Mario again, or fuck around with Mario Maker or something. And the correct answer is like really nope.
Yeah, not gonna
happen. Not gonna happen. Like at some point I will get that thing back out and I will buy like a copy of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for $7, or I will decide the convenience of not doing that is worth $33 and I'll buy it on Wii U.
Yeah. And the Switch version has like co-op and all that stuff anyway, so
yeah. So it's a better version.
I watched.
It's a weird to just have this old system that's just kind of like sitting there, and it's like, well, you are bringing out everything for it on this new system. Like, should I try to get my $50 out of this while I can, or whatever?
Except for Wind Waker HD, which is the only game that I would want to be on a Switch, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. I still have my Wii U hooked up. The tablet hasn't been plugged in forever, so I'm sure it has negative battery. But I have yet to hook my Switch up to the TV. That's been a portable device for me only, which I was really surprised about. So
we're on the same side on that. People call me crazy. Like you talk to like the coward Will Hughes, and he's like, yeah, who would ever play with the Switch in portable mode? And I'm like, why have it hooked up? Like, you have Isaac on your computer, you have it on other systems and stuff. Why play with this hooked up?
I mean,
portable's the cool thing, man.
I have gone so far as to like sit in my living room on my couch where I play normal video games. I could conceivably like put the Switch screen onto the 65-inch TV that I just got, but instead I will play it in handheld mode and watch like bad YouTube videos on my TV, and that's perfectly fine and reasonable. Like it works really well for that, I think. So
very same. Like lots of laying in bed, lots of doing that, like planes stuff. I'm way into portable Switch.
Speaking of portably switching, do you want to talk about She-Hulk?
Let's portably switch over to She-Hulk, because this is a She-Hulk highlight episode here we're starting with. This is season 2, episode 5. This is Fashion Warriors, written by Ron Merrick and John Semper. It's released on November 2nd, 1997. And this episode, She-Hulk and Betty, remember her, Bruce doesn't, team up with an all-female team to stop the leader and his flunkies when they attack a Miami fashion show.
You know, this is going to be
that happens.
This does happen, and this is going to be our last episode where we deal with the leader and Gargoyle. And I can't imagine a better way to.
This is their send off. I forgot about that. This is the completion of their arc.
This is and the completion of their arc is they failed this, and now they are broke and sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Like that's what's gonna. Yep. That's the ending for these guys. It feels like.
Oh my god! I forgot what this is.
It feels like a very Silver Age like villain ending, like where you're not going to see them for 15 or 20 issues or something, right?
Yeah,
like it just and like they're gonna have to come up with something ridiculous how to get them out from the bottom of the ocean.
There's a really strong implication that they're eaten by mutant sharks.
Also that
as well.
Also that
it fades away with sharks with 2 sets of fins swim by, and there's menacing music, and that's the last we hear of the leader of Gargoyle. Like, don't worry, they've been eaten, folks. Don't worry, kids.
In the finale to the series, we actually see mutant sharks being created, so maybe that could be a little meta. Maybe they were shuffled around.
Time loop. This is the finale of that entire arc. All the stuff with the Gargoyle trying to be human again, and the leader's insecurities and stuff. It gets swept under the rug, so She-Hulk can team up with 5 people we've never heard of, who are superheroes for some reason.
Who are all very smart models. Very smart models.
Incredible smart models who are also superheroes now, to fight the Ogress mostly, and there's a lot of comedy about the Ogress's body.
It's she basically like forms the Fox Force 5, except they're all Tahani from the Good Place. They're all just extremely good at everything that they've ever done.
Yep. This is I like the girl power in this episode. It's just weird that it lands here. And it kind of undercuts the girl power by being so mean to Ogress.
It really does.
If you're beautiful, like, good on you, girls. Like, you can achieve anything. If you're not attractive, go hang out at the bottom of the ocean with the sharks and the chuds. Like, you're on the shark arc for now.
Sharks and chuds. That was my high school computer
West Side Story 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we start out at a fashion show. And there's a reporter, like a red carpet reporter, talking about all of the beautiful people that are going to be there. Lou Ferrigno has an appearance, which I think is very funny.
My favorite strongman, Lou Ferrigno, and he just kind of shows up and smiles, and it's like, aw.
It's probably exactly what Lou Ferrigno did when he was like famous. We would probably show up to a fashion beat and like, hey, I'm Lou Ferrigno. Look how big I am. Isn't that weird?
They'd be like, okay, Lou. All right, Lou.
The reporter also says very specifically that they're on this 80-floor hotel and that it's all secured by the latest technology. And that's very specific because so that's why some weird shit's going to happen.
Yep. So there's a reason for the gargoyle and the leader to try to rob this place because now they're robbers. Like that's their plan. We cut to a limo, and the reporter says like, "Oh, there's going to be a green surprise as well." We know what that is. It cuts over to a limo, and the stripper sax music starts playing because She-Hulk's in the room. Bruce is complaining about his tie, and She-Hulk is like, "No, if you're here, maybe you can hobnob and get funding." And he's like, well, I don't mix well, like dealing with this tie and stuff. And it's very strange. I don't know where this funding was going to come from, and that gets dropped.
The Gucci guy.
Pretty quickly.
The Gucci guy's way into Gamma. Right?
Yeah, Gucci Gamma.
He was going to start like a Gamma Gucci thing, and it just never happened.
Through the power of alliteration. Him trying to get funding here seems like they're trying to set up a parallel between Bruce and the leader. They're both here to get money.
Yeah. And
one of them's doing it through robbing, and the other one just kind of forgets and stops trying to
The other one is doing it by watching hot women come out of an alien spaceship.
by masturbating to his cousin. That's how he's going to get money. That's how I got paid, baby.
So now we go to the leader's submarine / airplane that comes out of the ocean, flies to the top of this tower, and all of the Gamma Squad starts jumping out. And they very quickly take over security, and then take over the penthouse, which is at the very top. And he just basically straight up says like, yeah, we need to secure a lot of money because we don't really have any funding to be a crime organization anymore. And Gargoyle is basically like, yeah, we're broke. And leader's like, we're not broke. We're just a little low.
just low on funds. I love when we
have not hit up the coin star.
From the swear jar, the leader's like insufferable swear jar. It's whenever you use a 3-letter word or less, you have to put something in the swear jar. The Gamma Squad that comes out and takes over security is very funny. Like one of them has a chainsaw for hands, and the security guard like holds up his nightstick, and the chainsaw for hand guy cuts through it with the chainsaw and stuff. And several of them have 2 heads and stuff. Like this is the last we're going to see of these assholes too. They don't really get closure.
Yeah, I do not need or care. Yeah,
these guys suck. Goodbye, guys. So the Ogress is there. She's on top of the thing, and Ogress, if you remember, she's kind of just like an ugly lady Hulk. And she's just like, why wasn't I asked to model? And it's like, it's not just that like she's ugly and stuff. They make her into an idiot. Like you can be ugly and also and be a little bit aware of like at the very least, this doesn't make me a bad person, but maybe I'm not a fashion model.
Yeah. Like maybe I will never be a fashion model because
totally
this is the standard of beauty that society has accepted, right or wrong, and my weird messed up gamma face does not qualify. Like I'm just not.
You have to be aware of it. Like if you're like, let's say you're like a severe burn victim. You're not a bad person, but you're not going to be like, why wasn't I asked to model? Like you had to at least know what a fashion show is.
Why did Versace not contact me? I'm just really confused. Yeah, like you don't have to be a fucking idiot about it.
The whole thing is jokes at her expense about her being an idiot and being ugly. Like it's kind of a weirdly mean-spirited episode, for the Ogress. The Ogress never gets any characterization, and this is also the finale for the Ogress as well, which is like just to, be humiliated and defeated and then go down to the bottom of the shark arc.
Shark arc.
She-Hulk shows up. She's dressed for the show. She comes out like she's way into small clothes. That's been going to be a theme over these 2 episodes. Like just my style, shiny and tiny, with her bikini. She goes in backstage and she sees Betty. And Betty is the surprise. It's just like, she's reunited Bruce with his girlfriend by getting Betty Ross to be part of this fashion show for super smart ladies.
And I guess that's fine. Like, I don't really care.
Well, they had to bring her back in time for the finale. Like she's in this episode, she's not in the next two.
I was so much happy. Oh, she's in the next one, right?
Is she in the? Oh,
she goes to the magical Uncharted place that Nathan Drake finds at the end of Uncharted 1.
Yeah. No, that's not in the next episode of this show, not the next episode of the cartoon. Yeah. But yeah, she's in that one again. But they just kind of write her back into the series after being gone for the season.
So from here we go back over to Gargoyle, who has completely co-opted the security system, and he's doing more complaining about being broke. But then the real show starts.
No, Jeremy. Mm-hmm. Like I wish that I'm glad that I find face cams a little bit annoying in general for things. I wish I kept one on myself 24/7 so you could see my face when as I'm watching this. And it was the first thing I was doing, eating breakfast. I'm like drinking my coffee, watching this. I'm pretty intent into it. The next episode, I lose the plot a lot because I think the next episode is like harder to follow. But this one I'm watching very, and I could have swore I missed something. When a UFO flies into the fashion show, turns two security guards into birds with magic beams. Now, I'm like, oh, this is the leader. Like, this is the leader or a third threat who has turned the security guard into birds. No! This is the show.
They got you.
Those security guards being turned into birds is part of the fashion show. That's on the table. It's never mentioned. It's just something that they can do.
Sounds like
turn people into birds.
Sounds like somebody has not been watching a lot of fashion shows, man. Come on, where are you at?
Is this what happened with RuPaul's Drag Race? Like everyone talks about it. I've never watched it. People get fucking transmorphed.
I'm assuming so. Yes, on that show. I have no idea.
So then the UFO lands and the announcer is still dictating. I'm like, oh, the announcer's been taken over. Like the announcer's a villain. Nope. This is all part of the show. The UFO lands and starts letting out fashion models. And it's like, oh, this is our crew of lady warriors.
Our fashion warriors, as they were
fashion warriors.
As they will coin the name themselves.
Yep, they will call themselves that. And they have a flying UFO that can transform enemies and stuff. And I'm like, who are these characters? What is their official handbook to the Marvel Universe entry? Like, this is fucking out there.
And the outfits, like the announcer is going on, like the first one's a NASA engineer and she's wearing like some high tech, it's for the future spacesuit but it doesn't cover her entire body for when it really gets hot out there. And I'm like, you guys know how space works, right?
Yep, on the hot surface of Mars.
Yeah.
This is you won't sweat too much.
Just imagine imagine the suntan lines, Gary. If you just have this giant helmet shape and then
flash of
this weird X tattoo across, or X tan line across your chest. It's so weird.
In all of these models that are shown, they're cutting back and forth to the horny crowd of like 70s Marvel guys with like bad beards and mustaches and stuff.
They couldn't have
just
filmed
like,
this any more like a strip club scene if they had tried. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I kind of expected it to be one of like almost a Zoolander thing, right? Where they cut to the crowd and the crowd is like even just great provocatively dressed with like peacocks on their head and stuff. Like, I thought they would go that route. Nope. It's just like a bunch of horny dudes like getting pulled away by their wives and shit like that.
Yeah, licking their lips, like making their eyes bug out, like making smoochy faces and stuff like that. Like, it is, and this is, I'm not going to harp on this, but they're doing this in response to a UFO that came in and turned security guards into birds as well. Like, nobody has the appropriate fear about this.
Nobody realizes the leader could show up at any time. Like, the fashion industry has never been robbed before. I think that's what we are learning right now.
The leader is the least of the worries on this whole thing. Jeremy, this is a good time for me to let you in on a little something. I talked to you about, who Brian Wilson is, right?
The singer? Yeah.
Yeah, the Beach Boys guy?
Yeah.
You ever hear Smart Girls?
I mean, I don't really know any of the titles, but I would assume, let's say no for conversation.
So that is a rap song that Brian Wilson made in the 80s. That has to be heard to be believed.
Okay. Oh, really?
That is, all the beats and stuff are made up of samples from the Beach Boys. And it's about how he likes smart girls as opposed to just, dumb girls. If you want, I've talked about it before on Duckfeed, you can either cut it in now or just solemnly swear to me that you will check it out after the podcast.
I'm listening to it right now.
It has to be heard to be believed. Okay. It has to be heard to be fucking believed. Like, it's really pretty amazing. All the Beach Boys songs that are in the samples are at different tempos and stuff. Like, it's really, really fucked up.
sad. I make great music with my band. Songs to dance to and songs of joy. Cause I'm the original Beach Boy. Serving USA. All the songs I used to write.
But this makes me think of that. Like, it's like, these are like, this is that fashion show. It's the Brian Wilson Smart Girls fashion show.
This is incredible.
Isn't it something? Like, the chorus is like kind of catchy, but also just like makes me want to die. And he, surprise, surprise, Brian Wilson, not a super great rapper. Weirdly aggressive.
There's some really strange things happening in that song. I will cut some of that in for the listeners, and then I will go back and listen to this full thing later. I always love it when a rapper starts with "My name is Brian" on a rap song. Like, that's how you know he's about to kill it in the cipher. That's how the freestyle. That's how the battle rappers do it. Like every famous rapper always starts it out
especially
with
the ones
my name
named Brian.
Yeah. My name is Brian. My name is Ted, and I am here to say
I like smart girls in an intelligent way. It is one of my favorite. I can't remember how I found that, but it is one of the best secrets.
That's terrifying, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's pretty repulsive because the Beach Boys are good, but not good. So they show the different kinds of models. Some of them are like tech geniuses. One of them's a ninja.
Of course.
The ninja has a bikini that turns into like a batleth, like turns into a Klingon like weapon.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has a staff. The sash turns into a staff, which is just hilarious to me. Betty shows up, and she looks almost normal at first. She's got like a little lab coat thing going, and then she just takes that off. Again, extremely strip club thing happening here, and it's just like a bikini. Like, it's just like a weird looking bikini. And of course, Bruce is kind of like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that you're here." And
I have a girlfriend. I have a fiance. I forgot.
Who knew?
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm in Miami with my cousin and I have a fiance at home. That's a very strange thing for me to do.
And it's been going on for months.
Completely normal guy stuff over here, everybody.
Yep. Just trying to get funding and trying to get odd jobs as opposed to being with my fiance. So, it's coming back and forth. The crowd is fucking loving this. They're, licking the floor. We cut over to the gargoyle, and he's going to put sleeping gas in here, but he's also horned out. Like, he's watching, he's like, there's no way I'm going to miss this. And just staring at the swimsuit section because he wants to see She-Hulk.
Gargoyle, you're a criminal. You can buy a Playboy. I mean, like,
yeah.
You can just go get one. Just go, like, it's 1997. Like, the internet exists and you can find porn, I promise.
And is there any chance in this world that if you Googled, like, She-Hulk panty slip or something like that, it wouldn't be just tons and tons of tabloid pictures of the She-Hulk getting out of cars and very, very purposely spreading her legs to show off beef and then, like, getting up?
New tab.
Like, she's like way into that stuff. Yeah. Just like, I can't imagine that the She-Hulk in this universe is not leaking her own nudes to the tabloids.
Do you want a thong with She-Hulk's face on it, Gary?
Like, sorta.
Kind of. Maybe a little.
I don't not want it. So he's watching that, and it is just, so we're cutting back and forth between that and the swimsuit section with lots of just, like, cartoon sex shots. Like, this is just cheesecake for kids.
Yep. I guess at this point they've just going to lean into it. Like, this show is no longer this show is exactly for 13 and 14-year-old boys who just, can't stay up getting that HBO shot.
I was thinking about that. The horniness, like, drops off precipitously in this episode. Part of me thinks that, so the show's obviously struggling at this point because they wrap up in just a couple episodes, and it's like a very fast, unsatisfying wrap up. I think somebody was like, okay, guys, the end is coming. Let's get it all out of our system. And then they did this episode. Like,
let's go out with a bang. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yep.
And, like, everybody in the writer's room, oh yeah!
Yeah. Like, all the audience of this cartoon is just the writer's room. Like, those are all the writers for the show. It's Ron Merrick and John Semper.
It's not just Lou Ferrigno that got a cameo in this.
Just like Kool-Aid Manning into the writer's room and be like, yeah. Because they.
So back on the floor, after Gargoyle doesn't, deploy the sleeping gas, we get this montage of like it's like a black and white shot of all four ladies in like pinup poses, and color shots in the middle of like what's like them walking down the thing, and there's literally like boob and ass shots during these montages.
It's like a Duran Duran video.
It's like it's really fucking, but with way worse music. And I'm not a huge Duran Duran fan, so that's saying something. And of course, the surprise in all of this is that She-Hulk shows up, and she's not wearing a whole lot of clothes either. The whole sax music starts playing again, and she winks at her cousin to let him know that they fucking later. You know what I'm saying?
just in case I wore the one you like. And it's like, what are you're trying to set me up with my fiance though? I don't. There's such weird mixed messages, She-Hulk. Jennifer, God damn it.
I mean, if we're already doing incest, and incest threesome is not that big of a stretch, right? Like, let's just get Betty into it.
Yeah, just
we can pretend that she's your cousin too, Bruce.
Like, she's gonna have her role play as the Hulk, or as She-Hulk.
Like Bruce trying
Betty.
to get General Ross to adopt him.
Okay, Dad. Oh, you're not married yet, son. No. I mean, seriously, call me son.
Seriously, yeah.
Like, call me son. Please let me be my uncle. So Gargoyle's super into She-Hulk during this. At this point, the Ogress has put on a wedding dress and snuck into the backstage to come out as as in the fashion model world. Everybody who is okay with all of this stuff and is okay with the She-Hulk and the UFO that turns security guards into birds is now like, ew, gross, ugly woman, at this point. And as she's coming out, she's not self-aware because this whole thing is a cruel joke about the Ogress. And she looks at the camera and says, Dennis Rodman, eat your heart out.
Excuse me?
And I'm trying to, so Dennis Rodman wore a wedding dress at one point. I think that's what that's a reference to. That's all I got. And now Dennis Rodman is this weird Trump-supporting fan of the bad Korea. I can't remember what it is, but it's Dennis Rodman has had a very weird life trajectory, and this was when we just thought it was weird because he dressed outlandishly. So it's a simpler time.
Yeah, it's very strange to me that like this Dennis Rodman would get a shout out on a whole cartoon. Like, it's just very weird.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is not having any of this bullshit. She's like, you're too ugly to be on my stage, and I'm going to kick you off of it.
Yeah, this is about me providing boners to the community.
Yeah.
And you are cock-blocking an entire nation of men right now.
My cousin isn't even scratching his crotch. What am I supposed to be doing right now?
You're distracting my cousin. He is not horned. And you gotta go. They start fighting, but the gargoyle seals the doors and starts sleep gassing everybody.
Yep.
Betty and the She-Hulk get out the back before this happens. And Hulk, or Bruce, turns into Hulk because of the sleep gas, but the sleep gas immediately works on him, which I didn't think would work. And if it's that easy, it feels like the leader should have thought of this a little bit earlier.
I feel like the last 4 episodes of this season of television has a lot of different ways that the Hulk can be incapacitated that nobody had really thought about before.
Yep.
Because I think in one of these episodes, he just gets shot and he just lays down, and I'm like, wait a minute, excuse me.
Yep. Like, you should have tried a sleeping gas, should have tried a bullet, should have tried an amulet. There's lots of things you could try. So Hulk lays down. The Abomination, who is leading those guys, and he doesn't get lines or anything, but just to remind you that he's there, starts going in there and he starts gathering up rich and famous people. And he says, hey, leader, the Hulk is here. Leader's like, hey, grab him too. Why not? But Gargoyle has run off at this point because he's trying to get into the dressing room to fucking sniff panties or whatever. Do disgusting shit that the Gargoyle wants to do.
The girls kind of see him coming, so they all jump into a laundry chute to get out. And then as they're exploring this, Ogress is there, and Gargoyle is just like constantly running this chick down because she's like holding up a piece of clothes and is like, do you think I could fit this? It's like, only if they put it in ugly monster sizes. And I'm like, Jesus, dude.
That's so fucking mean. And then she puts it on and she's like, look how it stretches. And I'm like, this is just being mean to somebody who is not all there. Like, this is like taking the time to kick a child.
Also, Gargoyle, like, stones in glass houses, my man. Like, I'm totally fine with you having, converted yourself into this weird creature and trying to get back out of that situation, but maybe don't insult your fellow weird creature people at the same time.
You are not better looking than the Ogress at this point.
Okay,
nobody needs to be...
Real talk, Gary. Who would you do?
Yeah.
You got the choice.
Ogress or Gargoyle?
Yeah.
Ogress.
You're going
Yeah,
ogress?
totally. Ogress got a vagina. Like, I'm into those.
Oh,
Like,
I was just going to lean into it and be like, both of y'all, come on in. Like, let's do it.
just why not? If in for a penny, in for a pound, you know?
Might as well commit.
Yeah. Like, yeah, and also, like, I imagine in this world, like, given that the entire universe has, like, She-Hulk fever or whatever, the ogress would not be the least desirable person in this world, because from the neck down, the ogress is not that different than She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
a little
just
bulkier
muscled
and
up.
stuff.
Yeah. That'd be...
But if you're, like, into big muscles and green ladies, like, and kind of mutants, like, if this is your thing in this world, you could do way worse than the ogress. Like, the ogress is the second most desirable person in this world. You know? So more power to you, ogress.
I'm sorry.
Like,
the ogress is the second most attractive person in this world. It just really threw me for a loop there. Like, you short-circuited something in my brain. I'm just like, I can't. What?
for these perverts who are just, like, way into She-Hulk, you know? Yeah.
So now we go back to our ladies, who are still dressed in their high fashion bikinis, and that vaguely represent who they are and what they do. They start hacking into the mainframe because they're super smart, and they all start like basically saying like, we're gonna take them out, and doing like warrior ninja pose kind of stuff, like classic comic book poses, and it's really fucking weird. And man,
it's extreme, you know. Extremely weird. This is, I think, where they might call themselves the Fashion Warriors. They're going to stop the kidnapping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the police have arrived outside, and they get blown up by the gamma. Like in the notes, the gamma dweebs, which like, it's very accurate. The leader projects himself on the jumbotron and just says, like, this time I just need money. Give me $100 million for the hostages. And then starts blasting the cops with rays.
I like,
it's like no one's good at this.
I like this because it's a classic leader move, because he can't, like, he's so egomaniacal that he can't, like, the smarter thing to do here would make Gargoyle do this, because then you could set up Gargoyle as the mastermind later, but like he can't let himself do that. Like he has to he's not going to not shoot cops. Like, let's get that clear. Like, the leader is out here shooting cops no matter what. And also he's got to be like the face of his own
live splatter
crime. So yeah.
Yeah. It's you know, this is a way not to get your demands met if you actually want the money, you know, so there's an element of him maybe being in denial about their financial troubles too, because the Gargoyle seems like the chief financial officer of this enterprise.
And just imagine in like 2019, this kind of thing going down, where like the leader comes on a screen and is like, I have captured all the rich, and everyone in the country is like, fuck them.
Fuck yeah.
Whatever you got to do with them, dog.
Leader,
I've got Elon Musk. Fuck him up, Chris. Go ahead.
Like, leader is Antifa. So the mayor calls Gargoyle,
which is also extremely funny to me.
He's got it on speed dial and says, like, okay, the ransom will be delivered in 30 minutes. It was pretty good. But Gargoyle can't find the Fashion Warriors. He's still looking for those. He's still thinking with his dick. And also the Fashion Warriors are going to try to take down the security system. So they're going to fuck up the plan before they can get the money.
And they're going to go through the ventilation system to do this. And instead of just like grabbing it and then pulling it off the wall, which is relatively simple to do, she like roundhouse kicks a vent grate off the wall, which is extremely impressive. Like that takes some talent.
It's very funny. And then one of them throws a high heel at a camera.
Yep.
Like, these are Austin Powers.
Absolutely.
Boss,
yeah. And one of these people's name is Pussy Galore in the IMDb. I guarantee it. Like, I didn't actually go 100%. Look, but I'm almost positive.
Would not be surprised. So Gargoyle thinks that She-Hulk is the one who killed the cameras, not that she had help. Even though She-Hulk could do all this. She-Hulk's just like letting other people do it, you know, for fun. But like, you know, She-Hulk is a superhero and could probably just handle all this shit too. But Gargoyle thinks She-Hulk did it. So he wants to go check it out. Like, oh, she fucked up the cameras. I gotta go meet her and ask her out.
It seems like the perfect time to get laid.
Yeah, this time she'll love me. But the leader doesn't go for this. The leader sends Ogress because, he's not an idiot. And it's like, well, the Ogress doesn't have a crazy boner for She-Hulk. You know, maybe the Ogress won't fuck this up.
Yep. So meanwhile, while all of this was happening, She-Hulk and Betty were going up like this elevator shaft. to try to get to somewhere. I forget what they're trying to accomplish, but he's basically just like fireman carrying Betty. When Ogress starts taking the elevator down, it like cuts their line or something, so they start falling. And then I kind of like looked away to make a note or something, and like she had just rebounded back up into the elevator somehow. Like I didn't understand the physics.
So at the bottom of the elevator, there's a big green like bouncy house. It looks like a bouncy castle.
Really?
Yeah, she lands on that and then jumps off of it and like bounces off of it.
That's not how elevators work.
No, it's exceedingly silly. Nah. It makes no sense.
But her and Ogress fight. Ogress knocks her out of the elevator, and she promptly gets like hit by one of the defense lasers, so she's kind of out of commission for a little bit. Betty jumps in and kind of intercedes, and then very quickly she gets kidnapped and taken to the leader, where she's just placed right next to Hulk, and who has been put into a stasis chamber, because that's what the leader does, is he brings those motherfuckers around with him everywhere he goes, just in case he kidnaps a Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. And they work now.
Yes, for the first time ever. Or maybe the Hulk is just weak now. Like throughout these 4 episodes, man, like he's just kind of a weak Hulk.
Hulk sucks now. It's because he's draining his vital cum. Like it's getting laid too often. Like it's like the fucking what's its head? Dr. Strangelove. Where it's like the vital fluids.
Mm-hmm.
So we come back to the rest of the Fashion Warriors are planning to take out this electric grid. And one of them finds a drone and then reprograms it to become a bomb, because they're all geniuses, not just in one thing, but in everything.
Except in taking down power grids, because when they take down the power grid, one of the chicks just throws a pipe hammer at it, and it takes down the power grid.
A pipe hammer genius.
Which causes none of the lights to go out in the place. So, like, I don't even know what's happening here. But, yeah. I also like that she reprograms the drone to explode, and then also reprograms it to send the explode command to all of the other drones. And, like, why are you programming these things to explode, dog? Like, why does that even a command?
Yep, they all have self-destructs that she can hack into. The She-Hulk is lasers are fighting from the security system are pinning down the She-Hulk there. But the hack works, so she gets out. She-Hulk knocks the Ogress down an elevator shaft. So it kind of takes care of that for now. The Fashion Warriors decide to take out this power, as we mentioned. When Hulk eventually wakes up, he sees Betty, and the Ogress, who has just had her ass handed to her, shows up. Kind of walks into the door as well.
Hey guys, didn't really work out so well.
Did not make it. Shut up, you ugly idiot! Oh,
having a pretty bad day. Could use some support. Fuck you, ugly.
Just be nice to Ogress for 1 fucking second. Leader notices that Hulk is waking up though, so he's like, now it's time to get that money.
Yeah, I got to get my money and get the fuck out of here. Like Hulk has never led to a successful criminal enterprise for me.
Yep. So they have a bomb that they planted with the hostages, which will blow up. Like they're trying to, they still have this as their ace in the hole.
The most impressive thing about this bomb is that it is on screen. Like it's programmed for 60 seconds, like you mentioned, but it's on the screen for maybe a fraction of that time. Like they didn't set this bomb up, but like it just appears, and then like in a couple of minutes, like it's just going to get taken care of. Like it's no big deal, and it just it just really cracked me up.
As an editor, I would have cut out the bomb.
Can we lose the bomb?
I don't think we need the bomb to make this plot work. They just have hostages. You don't need hostages and a bomb. So he's about to get his money, but unfortunately Hulk has woke up and he's got his Fashion Warriors to back him up, and the cops show up. So now it's a big fight with Hulk and the Fashion Warriors on one side versus the Gamma Squad.
Yep. Gargoyle and the leader jump up into their like jet plane, and the Gargoyle does this really just disgusting like slurping, licking his lip sound. Like, Mark Hamill, what was your direction and where were you going with this?
The direction was eat Jello.
I need you to eat this Jello shot with your tongue only, please. That's the noise I need you to make right now. Yep. Mark Hamill, fuck it, dude. It's 1997. I'm high on cocaine. Fuck Luke Skywalker.
I'm the Joker now.
I hate Chewie. There, I said it.
He always smelled bad. I hate the fucking Star Wars monster. He's an idiot. So they're getting out. The leader and the Gargoyle are trying to get out of there and just cut their losses and like go get jobs. At one point earlier, Gargoyle said, "If we fail this, it's time for us to realize we have to get jobs." And I wish that had been a spin-off series so much. Like, that's so good.
Hey, Marvel announced that what if thing. Maybe we could get some mileage out of that.
Mm-hmm. Really, really great. But the Hulk, with an unusual amount of intelligence, throws the bomb at the into the ocean there, which then sinks their ship.
Yep.
Like their ship, yeah, like it explodes enough to sink their ship. So they go. We cut back real briefly to.
Wait. I'm sorry, Gary. No. He just throws the bomb in the ocean. The ship just runs out of gas.
Oh fuck! Yeah,
the leader is like, I can't believe you let it run out of gas. And Gargoyle's like, what? I don't have any money to buy gas, man. This is your ship. I don't know what to do.
These are the guys who are going to go to like the gas station and put 80 cents in the tank.
Jesus Christ!
You know, like when that shit happens, this is sad as hell. So yeah, you're right. They go into the ocean because of gas problems, but the bomb is down there. The bomb was totally inconsequential.
Have I did I tell you the story about the guy that I knew that was on a volunteer fire truck force, like a volunteer fire department?
I don't think so.
And he was telling me like he had to quit because all of the other volunteers were so incompetent. And he said the day finally came is when he got a call. There was some building on fire. So he jumps into the fire truck and he's like racing to the scene and realizes that the fire truck is out of gas. So he has to like pull over to get gas on the way to the fire.
Oh my God.
And he was like, and then I just knew I know I could help people, but I just don't think there's people going to let me help people. And I'm like, yeah, dude.
not cut out.
Anyway, yeah.
Oh God.
And we wrap this up with She-Hulk outside, like presumably talking to reporters about how her and the Fashion Warriors, which will not show up again in season 2. Like we have 3 more episodes after this,
or in the rest of the Marvel universe or anything. The Fashion Warriors, this is a done in one kind of situation. So
let me just say Marvel's Fashion Warriors. Maybe it's on the Max line, the Marvel Max. It's all Hulk stuff. Yeah. Not at all.
Yeah. This is it. This is it for the Fashion Warriors.
Wow.
So they're going to write a book about the Fashion Warriors. So like, man, I would not want to read that book.
Gary, they made an animated version of it. I didn't really want to watch a 20-minute cartoon about it. Can you imagine trying to read a 300-page book about this?
Yeah. And then at the bottom of the ocean, when the leader's ship doesn't have any gas, it's being circled by sharks with the grim kind of foreshadowing about what is going to happen to them.
Extremely terrifying. This is.
Yeah, they are going to die due to 4, and they're weird mutant sharks. They have 4 fins, which is really strange. And that's the end. So that was the end of their entire arc. All the pathos, everything we how much of a better villain the leader was, how he sometimes was more sophisticated. All of that stuff has now ended with him getting killed by sharks because he's out of gas.
Which is, I mean, honestly, one of the best endings for a supervillain that we've ever had. Like, it's pretty good. Like, it's pretty funny. If X-Men, if whatever they're calling the Phoenix X-Men movie, like if that just ends with Magneto at the bottom of an ocean and like because his Magneto car ran out of gas, I'm gonna be kind of into it, my man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's just gonna cut away for 1 second to Apocalypse at the bottom of the ocean, like in the Apocalypse-o-mobile, you know,
with the giant A on the front.
Yeah, with a big A on the front, and then it's gonna cut back. You know, because I don't think at the end of that movie, I don't think he's necessarily dead. He's just defeated. So they have to deal with him somehow. So that's that fucking episode. This episode is more serious for like half of it, which makes it a little bit worse to my mind. So moving on to the second episode, which is to my mind not quite as fun. This is Hollywood Rocks, written by our friend Ron Merrick and Diane Fresco, which is probably why it's slightly less horny. This is aired on November 9th, 1997. Dr. Doom returns and steals equipment from Banner that would prevent asteroids from harming the Earth. Meanwhile, She-Hulk gets cast in a movie, but there's more to this production than it seems. Not that much more.
There's not a lot more to it, and what is there is very confusing because I did not really understand what happened until like the very end when literally Dr. Doom had to explain to me what he just did, and I was still like, did they show that? I don't understand what's happening.
I am exceedingly confused by this episode. And like part of it was I was multitasking. Like it's very hard to watch this cartoon and not do something at the same time. And that's just the reality of Days of Future Cast, right? Like
that's where we are. That's where we are.
That's where we've always been. Like even good episodes of the X-Men, I would have a browser window open. You know, I'd still watch it and everything. I'm paying attention, but it just, you know, it's hard not to have something else occupying my mind at least a little bit, right? Like I'm like looking at Twitter just a little bit, or I'm on the Slack a little bit. This one, to understand this would have demanded my entire attention, and it didn't get it. So I only kind of understand what happened in this episode. The main takeaway is She-Hulk is now Xena, the warrior princess, except she's called Greena, and Greena, the warrior princess, paraglides And that's like the big thing I got from this.
I feel like they leaned so much into weird movie puns, and like Doctor Doom is a pun machine in this. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like you need to smile for the camera, baby. And I'm like, what? Who are you? Like Victor Von Doom would
Peter
never
Parker?
like tell someone to smile for the camera.
Yeah. You're not a quip villain. You're not Arcade.
And it starts
Victor
out.
Von Doom, have some dignity.
Yeah, seriously. And it starts out just as dumb as you might imagine, with a bunch of like hunks who we quickly learn are gold medalist volleyball players getting schooled by She-Hulk.
That would make tons of sense, but this entire episode has a framing device of a DJ talking about asteroids.
Oh yeah, I scrolled down. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot to talk about the DJ framing device.
Because I don't even understand what this is. Like every once in a while, it cuts to like a voice showing asteroids from space and a voiceover who's like kind of like a Good Morning Vietnam style DJ talking about asteroids.
Keep it green out there, Holly Weird. And I'm like, who are you? What is?
Yeah, is this supposed to be Art Bell? Like who is this? What is happening here?
So there is a through line throughout this, or not throughout, but like there is something that's mentioned about this where we see this, and he's like, man, there's all kinds of asteroids out there, man. They're gonna hit the world and they're gonna explode the world, man. And it's all set up as this like typical conspiracy theorist bullshit. But then later we're going to get to the lab, and one of the scientists tells Bruce, like, man, if the general public knew how many asteroids were really getting close to hitting Earth, they'd probably freak out a little bit. Like, I think that's what they were doing there, but they don't sell this stuff very well at all.
So now we go to the beach with the Olympic medalist volleyball players, where She-Hulk is beating them all. Then grabs a jet ski. She-Hulk is such a creature of pure id. Like, she just does whatever I kind of respect She-Hulk. Like, they're not doing anything with this, but the idea that like the Incredible Hulk, like Bruce Banner Hulk, is all of like the anger, that you repress and everything, and the She-Hulk just being like the horny thief who disregards every single societal moray, and that's how her Hulkness, manifests. The fact that she's She-Hulk all the time kind of like undercuts that or anything. But if she was like, sometimes she was just Jennifer Walters, and then just when she hulked out, she's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want a jet ski. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat some French toast. Like, I'm not gonna pay for it. I don't like paying for things.
Fuck a cheat day. I am the Hulk.
Yeah, I am a human cheat day. Like, and that is cheating on my cousin, cheating on my taxes, cheating on my diet, cheating on just property laws. Like, everything gets cheated on. Like, that would have been a really interesting way to take it. And I think the comics have done that, but the cartoon is just like, what if there was a horny lady?
Yes,
so.
And what if she was just like willing to do anything at any time? And she jumps on this jet ski and says that she's going to take it to rip a curl or two, which I thought was an expression for pooping. To be honest with you, I thought she was
really?
No, not at all.
That sounds like, I mean, but this version of the She-Hulk we're talking about would just take like a fucking giant dump and then just like angrily challenge everyone to be horny by it. Like,
absolutely.
Like, you like it, sugar.
So we're in Hollywood. So we've gone from Miami to Hollywood, and I want to say we were in Chicago the last time. So again, this whirlwind tour of cousin dating that we've been going on in the season 2.
We were in Chicago when we dealt with Mr. Fix-It. The fashion show was in Miami.
Yeah. So I just all over the place. In New York before that. Yeah. So we're everywhere. Yep. Banner is here ostensibly to help this scientist finish a asteroid removal device using some gamma bullshit, and they test it with like a little bit of rock, which they immediately shoot into the water cooler, and then everybody like fills a glass up in the water cooler and just lets it pour on the goddamn floor because we all animals, and it's not a fucking scientific lab or anything. Nobody wants to stop that from pouring ever. You could just literally put it on its side. It's
the unclean room.
Oh, jeez. But of course, as soon as they test it, Doom shows up. He blows the door in. He's brought some really ugly robots with him. I guess these are his last year's model robots that he's just trying to clear out. Yeah,
the Farm League.
Yeah. This is my B squad in Darkest Dungeon. Is that what this is?
Yeah. And he wants to rule Latveria again, of course, and he wants to get revenge on Bruce because Bruce Banner fucked up his plans last season. And a real rare, even acknowledgement that the first season happened of this cartoon.
Yeah, and they don't often go back to it, but boy, when they do,
they certainly do. So the robots start kind of removing the scientist, and then we're now. So this is another place. Like, I'm going to call out these places where I looked down for a second and looked back up and had no idea what was going on because I looked up and now we are on a psychic chessboard. And this is to show we've never shown this kind of, Bruce can just kind of turn into different Hulks. Usually, it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
We don't need to show psychic chess. But we're showing psychic chess where a chess piece turns into Grey Hulk and starts fighting Green Hulk. So it's like which Hulk gets control.
And it's interesting because like this is one of the few through lines of the season. Like we're actually like that's going to keep happening up until the finale. And I think I actually think it's kind of cool, even though it's like I don't know, it doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't mean anything in the story that much. Like it's just like, oh, like it's not like it'd be way more interesting if Grey Hulk just wasn't so helpful when he came out, or if Green Hulk was way more destructive than he actually is. But it just comes out like which of the two wisecracking voice actors are going to appear on set today. Like that's all this is.
Are they gonna make sentences or just grunts?
Yeah,
And the this is very cool. It's just there's no room for it this season because of She-Hulk.
Yeah,
like, and I'm not complaining about that. Like, I thought the She-Hulk stuff has been extremely fun, but this idea of there being like a smart Hulk that is kind of that version of his him letting out his animal but being not being an idiot, being intelligent about it is really interesting. And this is all stuff that they do better in the comics and stuff. It's just this cartoon has not spent enough time with it.
Yeah,
Doctor
Doom like walks back into the lab and is surprised to see the Hulk there, and I'm like, "What? You knew? I mean, like you were there. Like you're one
trying to get revenge on Banner.
Yeah,
like Banner's Hulk.
You got to know unless you're just because that's when Hulk calls him Doctor Dumb Hulk Enemy, which I find very very funny.
It's really good. Yeah, extremely good.
And they're setting us up for a fight, and then Dr. Doom triggers an explosive device that the Green Hulk is actually holding, and it kind of knocks him away for long enough that Doom can get away with all of his robots and his scientist. And we go back over to She-Hulk, who is waiting for a ride from Bruce. So she's calling his cell phone, which just goes straight to voicemail or whatever it does. And then we see Hulk, who picks up the cell phone out of his pocket, which, like, man, do you remember when they used to make cell phones that would survive Hulk transformations? Like, my fucking iPhone bends in my jeans as it is, and I'm not a Hulk.
All of his Hulks are like, they're all like original Game Boys. Like, they just last.
Yeah. The only cell phone provider it was serve Hulks.
Yeah. But he thinks this is a bomb because the intelligence of the Hulk is really variable when he's Green Hulk. So he looks at it and he goes,
beep, 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 beep. Go, boop, boop.
And throws the phone away like, okay, Green Hulk.
That definitely reminds me of I don't know why, but that stupid dinosaur sitcom show. Like it's very much like it's just a line that the baby would read, like beep beep go boom boom, and I would
not
be like
the Hulk. Yeah. Not the mama. I'll be your mama, Green Stuff.
Oh no! Oh no! The crossover literally nobody ever wanted. Run away!
You're the mama. Like, yeah, like the sexual awakening of the dinosaur's baby as brought on by the coward She-Hulk.
I go through puberty when I'm 3.
It's like, you don't understand how dinosaur physiology works. It's not gross for us.
This is the second podcast in like a month that I've recorded where it just descends into dinosaur fucking. I don't know why this keeps happening to
me. Anyway, so She-Hulk, is can't get a hold of him. She goes to the Walk of Fame and just uses her super strength to draw her name on the sidewalk.
Hey, still did more to earn it than Trump did.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just again, She-Hulk's total disregard for laws in the face of her own ego. And then there's a runaway oil tanker that we haven't really dealt with or hasn't shown up, but is now on the scene, and she stops it from killing this old woman. And it turns out though that there is no oil tanker. This is a movie that's being filmed, and this was a stunt. I like these two guys show up and go, hey, I like this idea you painting yourself green, but this is a union job. Get off the set. And it's like, why is no one ever scared?
Yeah, the
goddamn cartoon. Like
the stunt guy dressed up like the old lady pushing the baby, I think really worked for me. Like it just it's a weird attention to detail in this cartoon that like literally nobody is watching.
Doesn't do that. Yeah. Genuinely pretty funny.
This is when she's approached by Rance, who is a famous director in this universe that She-Hulk recognizes. She recognizes from his films like Shark of the Fin, I think is what it was, which was or Cast a Blanket. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Cast a Blanket.
Are these just erotic versions of famous movies? Is that what's?
I don't know. I assume cast a blanket is cute. That sounds cute to me.
You think so?
But yeah, it could be. Like, I mean, I suppose blankets are in bed, and so is sex, but also blankets are cute. Like, blankets are cozy and nice.
I don't know, man. When I was 13 or 14, blanket was nothing but like a finger intrusion device. Like, that was all the only thing going underneath the blanket.
Device. Grab my device.
It's July in the middle of a hot season, and middle of summer in Louisiana, and I'm 13 years old. Like, do you want to wear a blanket and watch this movie? just curious.
Yeah, there's
man.
Yeah, we can.
I'm getting a little chilly watching Wayne's World, aren't you, Darla?
I suppose that could be what Cast a Blanket's about.
I don't know. We could keep going. Like, if you want to riff on it for a while, we could just keep coming up with ideas.
No, I think you got it in one. So he's smitten. He's like, we're starting a new movie today. You need to be in it. And she, of course, like, she can't get a hold of her cousin who turns into a monster, but that's of less concern than like getting more attention paid to her. So she's like, yeah, let's do it. So now we're cutting over to them shooting this movie, which is called
Smash Cut in the middle of a totally different film thing, and looking like they're back in the desert. By the way, like just out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
The desert, where she is Greena Warrior Princess.
Yep.
Obviously Xena. She's wearing armor and a sword, but it's kind of like tech looking. Like the armor does not look, Xena appropriate. They didn't have that kind of armor in Xena times.
I do like that she's obviously wearing, like, it's full body armor. I mean, not full body, like it starts from like the cleavage down, but it goes like throughout her body. But they were like, oh wait, we need to sex it up a little bit, so they just like drew a thong where her underwear would be, like, on top of the armor. And I'm like, sure, that's fine. I guess that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it is a little bit like wearing, like, freeballing it with underwear and then wearing underwear on the outside of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or freeballing with armor, which is pretty fucked up. So the director is getting on her nerves. She doesn't like it. They start filming.
Yeah, we should. We should talk. This guy's a sleazebag, right? Like, he's like, oh yeah, baby, oh, She-Hulk, darling. Like, he's definitely like a stereotype, like, movie producer. Honestly, I thought he was going to get her on the casting couch when he first showed up. Like, that's
totally
the angle that he was taking in all of this.
That is definitely the vibe, for sure. He's being gross. They start filming. She cuts off this, like, thing, this, like, doodad bit of tech stuff that she's fighting, and then runs off to a hang glider and jumps off like a cliff
and leaves the set.
And it's all part of the movie, though, because, like, he calls. I think the hang glider was there for this movie. I don't know what this movie is about. But this is just so that she can happen to see the Hulk.
Well, I don't even think she sees the Hulk. Like, the Hulk sees her flying around. Like,
Hulk sees her. Yeah,
he's hanging out in the O in Hollywood, and he's like, Jennifer, fly? Like, he's very confused about what's happening. Hollywood has not been good for the Incredible Hulk. I'm just gonna say that out loud.
And there's just, like, a question for the Hulk is, like, why aren't you fighting Dr. Doom?
Yeah.
Right now, like, why are you going and staying down in the O? I just don't. It's very weird.
I didn't get this hang glider sequence at all either. Like, she just leaves, and she's like, calls into the dude, and he's like, yeah, now just land and give it to the guy. And so when she lands, it's at this, like, it's obviously at another film scene, but nobody's there, and Dr. Doom shows up. And I guess this was all a ploy. Like, Dr. Doom set this up so that She-Hulk would go get this actual important device that he needed to make the beam into a different kind of beam. And boy, am I checking out pretty quickly at this point.
It is a level of planning that is pretty hard to buy.
I mean, just
Dr. Doom's.
I'm just picturing, like, Dr. Doom, like, calling Rance on the phone. It's like, hello, I am Victor Von Doom. Like, I need to employ your services for a very important mission. And Rance is like, Doom, baby, what's happening?
Doomala. I love you, Doomala.
How's Latvia, man? How's Latvia?
Yeah. How's your mama? Ooh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought her up.
Whoops.
Man, I would love if Reed Richards showed up and was, like, starting to, like, compete in like, art films and stuff. Like, Reed Richards is pairing with Wes Anderson, shit like that, to, like, get under Doom's skin. Like,
Doom is the Tim Burton to Richards. Wes Anderson would be very funny too.
Yeah,
like, both very good, but one not really as good. Let's just say that out loud.
Yeah, one used to be all right. Exceedingly bad now.
Boy, I watched. I went to see Captain Marvel over the weekend, and they showed a preview for that Tim Burton Dumbo movie with Danny DeVito in it. And there's never been anything on a screen that I've wanted to watch less than going to a movie about Dumbo with Danny DeVito in it. It looks terrible.
I'm going to go see Captain Marvel tonight, and I am looking forward to the set of trailers.
Oh Jesus!
Rough stuff. So she lands, and this is all part of Doom's plan again.
Yes, Doom shows up,
and this is when Doom is all like, it's time for you to your casting call, doing all these like Spider-Man movie puns and starts zapping her. Everybody's shooting her. They eventually shoot her with a stun gun, and then the robots can take her to the soundstage they have.
And I wrote soundstage because he very specifically says it, and I don't know why. Because he just goes back.
It has to be a soundstage.
What it looks like is he goes back to the lab that he stole all this shit from. Like, I don't know if they just tried to save money on the backgrounds or whatever, but like, it just looks like they took everybody back. Hulk shows up and is, of course, all mad. I guess he must have seen Jennifer if he followed her here. That must be what happened.
Yeah, he saw her flying through the air and just followed her.
And then, but all the robots like shoot him as he's jumping at him and like knock him straight down again, which like again begs the question of like, Hulk, what are you not drinking your vitamins? Yeah. Like,
we just shoot the Hulk now?
Yeah, we could just like hit you with a robot blast and you drop. Like that's not good.
Nope, not the Hulk I know and love.
And eventually, he literally gets like knocked out by one of these robots, which. He's the Hulk, you guys.
These aren't even your good robots.
More creative.
Yeah, like these are your bad robots, Doom. I am very disappointed in the Hulk's performance. I'll just say that during this. So we're back in the lab.
You were not the first She-Hulk to say that out loud.
That's why she's just trying to encourage. She's trying to like encourage him to be a better lover through all of this, constantly bending over and fucking spreading her ass cheeks for everyone who walks by.
Someone mod the Phantom Pain and just change Quiet's mod to She-Hulk, please. Someone put that out in the world.
Like one of the easiest mods ever. You just like green tint it.
Yeah, that'd be it. That'd be all you need to do.
Yeah. So Doom, we're back in the lab. Doom has these scientists mind control. They have like tech things in their neck. And he says like, this is where he explains his plan. He used a film crew to get the She-Hulk in order to get the component he needs to take over the asteroids, essentially. Like he's going to weaponize these asteroids so he can throw them at the Earth.
And we're going to find out throughout the rest of the episode that the whole purpose of this device was to like push asteroids away from us. It's like just to shoot them away. And now Doom has changed it so that he can grab them and then slam them into the Earth wherever he wants to.
Yes. Yeah. He calls the United Nations and says like, hey, everyone stand down in Latveria. And then if you don't, and then he starts throwing asteroids at various like landmarks and stuff and explodes some towns.
And these are
So
like, I think that's what the soundstage thing is. Is like I think these are like sets. Like this is old West Town, like at the move that you would go film.
Oh, got you.
You know, because he says something about all of this stuff, and but again, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And we're still not to the crazy part of this episode because we haven't sent the Hulk into space yet, Gary.
Yeah. It's not very Doctor Doom like to fake scaring the United Nations.
You know, like Doctor Doom's very concerned about the people of the United States of America.
Like, not only is this not Hulk at his best, this is not Doom at his best either. You know, both of them are a weird, reduced version of themselves in these episodes.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
She-Hulk does her normal, like, superhero insulting thing, and then he says, like, well, I lost everything in that last episode I was on. And then they proceed to, like, spend a minute showing us everything that happened that last minute, but through, like, a weird blue filter, so we know it's not actually happening. I guess they were just trying to fill in some time here. He says he's going to take it all back, and the way he's going to do that, he's going to start off is by shooting the Hulk into space. And Gary, I'll be honest, I got real excited at this point because I was super into Doctor Doom shooting the Hulk into space, especially when like they've got the beam up and they've got him in like the little like it looks like the front part of just a normal ass space shuttle, and then they just like literally pong that baby into space, like it just zoop, it goes crazy. I fucking love it, dude. This is my favorite part of this episode.
It's pretty great. And it's also like, as like later Hulk actually gets sent into space. So I kept thinking like when he threatens this, I was like, oh my God, like he's not going to land on a planet and meet some gladiators. We only have like 3 minutes left of this episode.
There's no way they have time for this.
Yeah. This isn't going to turn into Planet Hulk, is it? It doesn't, but it is just like, you know, again, my jaw dropped like at this point where I was like, oh, okay. Like let's do it. Let's throw the Hulk into space. Which pretty good. the Hulk crashes into an asteroid that's headed for the sun. So the Hulk is now awake on space. And that's a good note, Jeremy. Doom FaceTimes him.
It's what I mean. It's what they do, and all like they just all video conferencing each other, and like I love the fact this feels very Doom like of like I have put you in this space capsule. I have sent you to an asteroid. I have given you enough oxygen so that you can survive until you can watch yourself go into the sun. And also, I have put my FaceTime here. So now I will be just FaceTiming you like time with my nieces because that's the most excruciating thing I can possibly imagine. This feels like a very Doom trap more than anything he's done before. And he tells She-Hulk that she's going to basically be a slave. She's going to be a laborer in his mines once he takes control of his country again. And she's like, nope, instead I'm just going to kick myself free and then destroy your arm, which also destroys the mind control thing and lets all the scientists free. Yeah, just going to solve that problem with kicks real quick.
It's a load-bearing kick. Like, it's an extremely important kick that happens, you know? And I like Doom, like, telling her she's going to go live in the mines. Just very, like, also really weirdly dark for the show. Like, you're going to be enslaved. And, I
will give him credit for not horning out on her, though, right? Like, that's the positive thing. He was like, you're going to be my love slave.
Well, Doom, like, falls in love with, like, Storm and shit. You know, like, Doom needs, like, a more kind of put together, like, the She-Hulk, for all of her sexiness powers, like, does not have enough dignity for Doom, you know?
Yeah, he needs somebody with like a weird past that she can get modeling about every once in a while.
Yeah. And or, you know, hopefully somebody who can get his mom out of hell.
Either or.
So, can you not do this kind of thing? So Hulk is out of range of this whole thing, but he manages to jump from asteroid to another asteroid and kind of leap back into range, jumping from asteroid to asteroid. And I was like, I want to play this video game. That's like Mario Galaxy, like.
I feel like this is what Azura's Wrath was, if you ever got around to playing that. Like that was what this was. It's just a series of quick time events where like shit just got like, and all of a sudden you were punching an entire planet to death. So
yeah. He eventually, as he's getting back, he's being pulled back in, but he's running out of air at this point because he's been in space for quite a long time, just being in space. And then as he's being pulled back in from this nearest asteroid, Doom shoots through the roof of his robot vehicle and blows up the tractor beam and then gets out of there. Because he's like, spite explosion, you know,
Fuck
on his
you,
way
Hulk.
out, which I love.
Also, where did Bruce go? I'm an idiot. I don't understand what happened to Bruce this entire time.
Richards would figure it out. But the Hulk is still coming down because it's been caught by gravity's pull by this point, which is a nice coincidence.
Good, yeah.
You know, if
works out for this cartoon, been like, definitely.
Yeah. It'd been a little bit further away than the you know, Doom would have just killed the Hulk. So, you know, good on Hulk. I guess.
Love this because he starts entering the atmosphere, and they do that normal effect of like everything heats up around the point of entry, and it's getting hot. And so Hulk is like, "Oh man, it's really hot. I'm gonna walk inside this asteroid and really cool down a little bit."
Yeah, and like I'm not a scientist.
No,
you know, I don't know very much about astrophysics, but I feel like this is maybe not something that would work. Just going inside the asteroid that's burning up on reentry.
And scientists, you know, like asteroids, there, like, please don't add us if it's true. I don't care. I don't want to hear
it. Yeah, because like asteroids get burnt up like a lot when they come in reentry. You know, they don't just like, they're mostly not the same size they were in space. They get like bits of them fall off and stuff like that. Like this would eventually just like rip around the Hulk, and then the Hulk would just be what is burning up on reentry, and then like a perfectly formed Hulk skull would just land in the middle of fucking Nevada.
Oh man,
and that'd be
worth millions. Can you imagine?
It'd be like that skull from the David Bowie Black Star video.
Here you go.
Like people go to war
Hell
over
yeah.
it. Way into it. Also, like a Hulk skull would be pretty rad if you were like into collecting skulls because it would be huge.
Oh yeah, it'd be good. It's presumably strong. Like you know what I'm saying?
There's that awesome. I don't know if you ever read Planetary. But there's a episode or issue 0 of that show where they go out to Nevada where they're actually like they have the preserved corpse of like a Hulk, like that or not that show, that cartoon. That cartoon's all about like Pulp Fiction things and kind of like weird dark takes on it.
I'm a huge Planetary fan. Like I love.
Yeah, have you read that the Hulk issue?
Oh yeah,
the issue
absolutely.
0?
Yeah.
I love that. Like they're like inside his skull, like it's like a room.
So cool.
And like the Hulk grew, but his brain didn't. And like all of the kind of like synaptic nerves and shit like that, like stretched to their breaking point. And he just, did what actually happens if you get a bunch of radiation, which is die. But he just mutated a lot before. And it's just a couple pages of like exploring that, but it's super cool.
Man,
that's one of my favorite comics.
Me too. Like that's one of the reasons I will say Warren Ellis is one of my favorite comic book writers, even though like probably 90% of the stuff he puts out, like I don't really care about, but like the stuff that he has that really fucking works on me, man. Like even the
at his best, he's really
even
really
the fucking
good.
crossover episodes of that comic are so good. Like the ones where they do the evil JLA thing, which is not like a hugely different thing, like that's been done several times, but like the Batman through multiple universes thing was really good. Like all of that stuff works for me.
That's really funny. Well, and he crossed over with Planetary, and Planetary was kind of, or not Planetary, The Authority, which is kind of his like first run at doing some of those ideas. Like it's not as heady as Planetary. It's not trippy and cool. But did you ever read his run on The Authority?
Man, I spent an afternoon. I don't know what the fuck I was doing in 2005, but I spent like a whole day reading pirated issues of The Authority. I must have read like 150 issues in one day. Like I just sat there on an iPad.
It's not bad. Like it's not as good as Planetary, but like his run on The Authority is pretty good before Mark Millar came and kind of stunk it up.
Yeah.
But like his initial like 12 issues or whatever, and then that was something called Stormwatch before that, and Stormwatch was good too. It's good. Like his work during that was like the golden age for Warren Ellis.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because
he did Global Frequency was around there too, right?
Yeah. Global Frequency is
Global
good.
Frequency.
Yeah. And then like obviously Transmet. Like Transmet is super good. There's even some like work for hire Marvel ass shit that he's done that's like pretty good.
Yeah.
Like he did. I've always like I've talked about this, but during like the Dark Reign event of the late 2010s, or the late 2000s, he did a run on Thunderbolts that is surprisingly like really good. It's like, and it's got like, it's a loser squad. It's got Penance on the fucking team, and he manages to make Penance like kind of interesting. Cause it's all about like, what would a team run by Norman Osborn look like? And also Norman Osborn is a fucking psychopath. Like, like that whole event was all about him kind of presenting a face to the world that was like, I'm reasonable, I'm a businessman, and I can actually be a hero. But actually, like, he's somebody who thinks that the Green Goblin is real and fucking talks to him and stuff like that. Like, he's absolutely a maniac. And a lot of these people in the team didn't know that, like, when they joined and all this stuff. Like, it's pretty good. Like, it is a cool comic. So,
did you know they made a TV show out of Global Frequency? They only made
I did know that, actually.
They only made that.
It was like on the
one episode, but
CW or something.
Yeah, it was on the Sci-Fi, and I think I still got a copy of it somewhere. I actually really dug it. It's got man, I can't remember who they got to play the main chick in that, but I really like her. She's been on tons of stuff. So
there's a distinct era of Warren Ellis where he lost me with things, which he had this period where he was like, I just want to do creator-owned work, and it's like, that's cool. Like, you don't want to work with other people's characters. And he started, like, it felt like a half dozen comics, all of which that just ended. Like, he did a comic called Fell.
I was just going to bring up Fell, or Desolation Jones. It felt like it was happening around the same
Dr.
time.
Sleepless.
Yeah,
like that whole era. And it's like, this is all, like, pretty interesting, but you just gave up on all of it. And he did some kind of weird webcomic thing for a little while that was, like, less interesting. And
I read a bunch of that, too. What was that? Was it, like, Fallen something?
Something Angel?
Something. I was thinking Fallen Angel or something like that, yeah. I read a bunch of that, yeah.
It's not Fallen Angel. We talked about that another time. It was something as like Clockwork Angel or like Gearbox Angel or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like, I remember I was like, oh yeah, I like Warren Ellis. I want to read what he puts out. And everything was happening. Like the pacing was so slow and things would come out so infrequently that I just kind of got disillusioned with him. Yeah. Like the Golden Age is still extremely good. And then he loses me quite a bit. Riff really likes his novel. Have you read his novel?
I haven't, no. And I kept meaning to.
Crooked Little Vein, I think it's called.
And I think he's written another one past that too. But I kept meaning to, and it's just, I'm about to finish up the book that I'm reading now. Maybe I'll check that out. I don't know.
Yeah. I've heard it's very good, and I could see him working well, in prose.
Yeah, he's got like some really strong ideas, like in just a lot of his like real basic like what if kind of situations that he presents are really interesting and fun. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Planetary. I need to reread Planetary. I'm like due for a reread.
Man, I did it like within the last year, and it's still so fucking good. Oh.
It's extremely good. I was reading that. I never read individual issues, but I was collecting the trades. Yeah. Like as they came out.
And the wait for that last one was fucking brutal.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was about to say. Like I ended up getting it hardcover because I wanted it so bad. Like when it came out. And it's just like, I'm not going to wait another fucking like 6 months for this to come out in softcover, you know? But yeah, like the Planetary is extremely good. The ending of Planetary is extremely good. I love those characters. Like, I think that's a really cool comic.
My buddy Chris is real into manga stuff, which I'm not super into, and he's not very much into Western comics at all. But when I was reading Planetary, I was really trying to convince him to do Planetary, and I sent him that scene of the man, I kind of don't want to spoil Planetary, but it's the scene where they it's Drummer's origin story, and it's got like the heads exploding, like boom, 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 and it like all in a row, that one really, really fucking cool scene. It's I was sending him that, and he was like, maybe I should dip into this. I'm like, you should fucking dip into this.
Yeah,
it's so fucking good.
Here's the thing, Jeremy, is you get you finish all the little side casts you're doing, and then you do that as a separate podcast, and I will guest on that shit. You gotta do an issue by issue Planetary podcast.
Oh, that would actually be kind of fun.
Anyone's ever done it?
Yeah,
super good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I will join you frequently for that shit, because I'm due for a reread, and I am way into it.
Covering comic books is so weird. Have you covered comics before? Like we did that for
you and I haven't, but me and Cole have.
You and Cole have. We did it for we did some for the Patreon for Supernatural. There's some really terrible Supernatural comics out there that we covered, and it was just a really weird media to cover in audio form for me. Like, not to get too like inside baseball, but like I couldn't really make notes on stuff, and I kind of a note driven guy, and I don't know, I just had to have like the page open, and then I started realize I was like describing what was happening on each page. It's like, this has got to be fucking miserable. Like,
yeah, it is definitely weird. Like, they have different energy. I like doing it, when it comes up on Adaptation Decay, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, those have been fun. So, anywho, that's been a little, those are not the Hulk.
Yeah, do you want to finish the last 2 minutes of this cartoon?
like 2 minutes if we're lucky. Like, it's like, the 45 seconds left of this cartoon.
Hulk flying into space, he falls into the ocean. She-Hulk drives up on her jet ski and says, "You had yourself one old-fashioned honking splashdown, cousin," which I think is very hilarious.
Yep. Not a phrase.
Not something that really exists.
Yep.
They're walking.
The director shows up to this.
Yeah, the director Rant shows up, and he's like, She-Hulk, baby, honey, please, all I need you to do is sign and make my career okay. And she bundles up the script into a ball of trash and punches him with it, which is pretty funny. And then they walk down the beach, and She-Hulk, who is in heels, walking down a beach, which I understand to be extremely difficult.
I can't imagine doing it.
Can't imagine wearing heels like the times that I have tried and just literally fell on my ass, much less down a fucking beach. Yeah. And she just talks a lot about Rodeo Drive and wanting to go buy clothes because that's all she does now.
Yeah, because she loves to shop, as will be exhibited in kind of a racist way during the next episode we talk about.
Yep.
And it's, I feel like not enough attention is paid to the fact that I think that Rance is working for Doctor Doom. Right? Like, isn't that implied that he's part of this whole plot?
Well, he says that I didn't have nothing to do with that guy, and he didn't even pay me. Like, he says that right here, and I'm like, okay.
It's like, we're just gonna let this guy get away who, like, Doctor Doom hired to throw asteroids at the Earth. To help him, it just a little bit. I don't know.
Look, if we can give Paul Manafort 6 years in prison, like, we can do something for Rance.
Rance gets to at least be in there longer than Manafort, at the very least.
Oh man, these are two. Like, I think these are two fun episodes. There's a part of me, like you mentioned this in the Slack DMs, like you mentioned that you were going to miss this show, and there's a part of me that's definitely going to miss this show for how crazy it is. But like, this stuff like makes me glad it didn't go on for 5 or 6 seasons. I'm not sure how much more Hulk I have in me, to be honest with you.
They eventually, like, we either have to start, pushing the envelope of weirdness until it got too self-aware, or it would have had to scale it back and be more about the Hulk fighting the army, and like, neither of those choices is particularly good.
Yeah.
It just hits this level of weirdness consistently where it's surprising, and then, it's going to get out while it's good, because the last episode of the show is very bad. But it gets out mostly good because the next episode is almost as bonkers as the fashion show episode, I think.
I hate it so much, Gary. This is a little preview. I hate it so much.
I don't think it's good or anything, but it's really fucking surprising. The stuff that happens in it is funny, to me. Yeah. So I will miss this cartoon. I'm looking forward to covering other stuff. Should we say what we're going to cover next? Because it has been determined.
Oh, has it? I was going to ask you that because I didn't know if so we ran a Patreon poll, which is a reason to be, one of the many reasons to be on the Duckfeed Patreon, patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, is we wanted the listeners or the patrons to determine what we cover next. Your options were X-Men Evolution, which is a older cartoon series about the X-Men being in high school, Mystique is the principal, or Wolverine and the X-Men, which kind of follows a little bit, like it has the same plot as the anime episodes that we covered, where it starts with Jean Grey dead and Wolverine is kind of trying to put the school together. I have seen Wolverine and the X-Men and actually consider it pretty good. I thought it was a pretty fun watch, but I'm curious what we're actually going to cover because I don't know the answer to this.
They're both considered to be pretty good. We just wanted to do, and a lot of people did write-in votes to say like Spider-Man and stuff, and like, come on, guys, we gave you options. That's not how write-in votes work. We just feel like getting back. We will get to Spider-Man. We're going to do that Fantastic Four thing. We'll do Iron Man. We'll do all that stuff. We just felt like going back to the X-Men.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done like, besides the movies, done like, and even it's actually been a while since we've done an X-Men movie because we did Deadpool there for a while. So
yeah. And Wolverine, which is an X-Men related movie, but is not like a straight up X-Men movie.
He didn't even have his powers through the goddamn movie, Gary. It's not an X-Men movie.
Like we missed the X-Men. So by a pretty healthy margin, X-Men Evolution won that.
Nice.
So Wolverine and the X-Men had its fans. Some people said they didn't like it, but I've heard both were good, and we'll definitely cover both of them at some point. The big difference for people who listen, I think, is just like how long it will take to cover that. So once we get into that, that's going to be about a year of the podcast to cover X-Men Evolution, which I'm down for, but just know that you're buckled up for a year.
Yeah.
And I'm into it because I have barely watched this show. I have not, I think that the art style is not my favorite thing, is kind of what turned me off of it when I was younger, before I would do it for the podcast. But I've heard that it is good, and I like high school stuff. And I just want to see Gambit and Nightcrawler and all my friends again.
It's I watched the first few episodes. They were on Hulu at the time. I think they have since been removed from Hulu. I think Disney is trying to consolidate all that shit into one spot. But I watched the first couple of episodes, and it is so tonally different than the original X-Men animated series. And it was a little bit off-putting just because we were at that time. The reason I was watching it is because I wanted to watch more X-Men cartoons, but I didn't want to get ahead of the podcast. So I was like, I want to just watch some more X-Men shit. But so it kind of threw me for a loop, but I liked it. And I'm curious to see like how bonkers that show will get, because when you have like Spike playing basketball and fucking up the basketball floor and trying to hide his mutant powers, I'm kind of into seeing where that's going to go. Like that's going to get a little weird.
It's also it's so crazy that Spike is in it. Spike is a one-off character from the X-Statix comics, who's like in like 4 issues. Like, it's very weird that Spike is a major character. Like, it kind of dates exactly when the cartoon came out.
Yeah.
The same way that like Marrow is a playable character in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yep.
Like it's just like, oh, okay, I know what year this came out. I'm excited about it. I just want to talk about X-Men again.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling a lot of affection for X-Men. We got those trailers that have been coming out for the new movie and stuff, and I'm just like, fucking X-Men, man. I can't quit you. I love you, X-Men.
So yeah.
Did you see that they're optioning a What If show?
I did. I mentioned that earlier in this podcast, as a matter of fact.
Oh. How did I miss that? I've been paying attention.
I don't remember what you said, but you said like, what if we could get a I don't even remember what it was now, so don't feel too bad. But you were like, what if the Hulk did this, and I was like, yeah, they've got that What If show. Maybe we can find out.
Oh,
I think you were taking like a drink of water or something, because I was like, man, I kind of figured he would pick up on that, but never mind. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I was enjoying my Coke with ginger and lime. So I missed that. I apologize, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's a fun idea, because are they going to be able to like do big Marvel shit with it? Like, it's not going to be a good show if it's like, what if Shang-Chi, Master of Karate, learned a different martial art,
fell in love with Dazzler.
Yeah, like just characters you haven't done on stuff. Like, it's going to have to be like stuff from the movies,
Yeah, I would
or no one's going to give a shit.
I would assume that's the case, and there's all kinds of weird stuff happening in the Marvel universe, because they're canceling most of their TV
all the
shows.
Netflix stuff is going away.
All the Netflix stuff, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got renewed. And
Yep.
Legion's they're going to give Legion one more season, which the guy that did Legion, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, said he always envisioned that to be a 3-season show anyway. So, but that seems like the kind of thing that, like, if you cancel Days of Future Cast, I'd be like, yeah, I kind of envisioned that to be a 65, 66 episode show. That's definitely what I was thinking when we started this.
Yeah, we would definitely roll with that punch, I think. If they were canceled.
And then they're canceling The Gifted, which I finished the second season of The Gifted last night, and that show was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's a bummer that they couldn't make a good straight up Young Mutant show. Remember that the trailer for that scary X-Men movie that's going to come out?
Yeah, that's in Recut Hell. That's the one with Arya from Game of Thrones as Wolfsbane, maybe?
Yeah. It'd be cool if that came out. I understand the discourse about these movies not actually being that good, but I can't like avoid it. I'm still going to watch that fucking Phoenix movie, and it looks cool to me. Want to see the stuff happen.
I think you made the point on Twitter. It's the only place I can go to watch X-Men do X-Men stuff, and like that's what I want.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like the only game in town. Like, yes, maybe they're not. Like when that came out, tons of people were just on Twitter, and it was like a lot of snark, and that's fine because nobody needs to like the same stuff I like. But it's like, oh, all the X-Men movies are dumb, and like, oh, this looks like shit. I can't believe they're just doing X-Men 3 again. And I'm like, yeah, you know what though, like, I'm gonna be able to watch those characters do some badass shit.
Yeah.
And, like, at the very least, like, I think everybody is allowed at least one thing they can love uncritically,
Mm-hmm.
Like, and for me, it's like Marvel X-Men shit. Like, it's like, I'm always gonna like it. Even, those movies kind of bottom out to me at like C+.
I would even go for it.
It's still a watch.
Go for it. So far, says you can like any number of things uncritically. Like, as long
totally.
As long as you're not trying to present a critical argument about it. Like I don't think that, I just, because all the MCU movies, like, none of them are super, like, amazing, perfect examples of cinematography or anything, but I still have a really goddamn good time going to watch the MCU movies. I'm going to keep doing it until that feeling wears out. And if that's already worn out for somebody else, then I get it. Like, we don't need to see your opinions about how they're all C+ movies. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't. Yeah. Nobody cares, man.
Yeah, it's not really doing anything to do it, and it's just not like, write a review of it or whatever. Like, and that's cool. Like, that's, you write a review of it and you don't like it, and that's fine. But just kind of just being like, hey, this thing everyone's excited about is fucking stupid on Twitter is like not, I don't know. It's fine. Like, I do that sometimes too. I get it. Like, there are probably people losing their minds hearing me say that because I like get cranky about the stuff. But I've been trying to get better about that. And now I just like, no, I just throw Kingdom Heart into my mute filter and then I don't see it.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
That's, and yeah, you just throw X-Men or just throw, Avengers into your mute filter, and then like, it just effectively will disappear for you. It's pretty cool. And if you run a Slack, you just start a channel for people to talk about the thing you don't like, and they can just go talk about it in the corner, and you don't have to hear about it.
And you can even do that for things that you don't necessarily even don't like. Like, there's stuff on the Monster of the Week Discord. I just created a Dungeons and Dragons channel because people wouldn't shut the fuck up about Critical Role, a show with like 100 hours of video that you would have to catch up on to get to now. And I was like, I'm probably never going to hear people talk about this, so bye bye.
Yeah, just let it, and it just, I'm going to conserve my time a little bit. And you can conserve your time without just like necessarily like making a point.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
so Patreon.com.
Not to say that like those things are like sorry. I'm the straw man in my head that's calling me a hypocrite is screaming at me. Like, I'm not saying that you can't just like make a critical point about this stuff. If you're like, hey, I saw it and I thought this, and this, like, that's totally cool, but just like a blanket dismissal of a cultural phenomenon is mildly annoying.
It is. I think it's especially grating to me when it happens for trailers, because like nobody has seen the thing. Like, you're so tired of how many times that you've seen these movies that you don't want to see the thing, and so you're just automatically calling it shit or a repeat when it's a cut together trailer. Like, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's just a trailer. Like, at least wait till you've seen the thing before
different people do those things. Like, it's not the same people who made the movie who make a trailer. Like, that's why those fucking DC movies look cool in trailers. That's why the Suicide Squad trailer looked kind of fun, and that movie's like not good.
Well, didn't they get the trailer people to recut the full movie? I thought I had heard that as something.
They did, actually. Yeah, which is pretty bonkers, but it still did not turn out super great.
Ooh, that movie's bad.
And yeah. Anywho, it's just been a thing where it's like, part of it is just me being cranky because I'm excited about a thing, and people online are telling me I'm stupid for being excited about it. But like, kind of a bummer.
So schedule for the show. In 2 weeks we'll finish out Hulk season 2. After that, we'll do a movie episode, which I think we both decided would be the Apocalypse movie, right?
Yeah, we should do Apocalypse.
Yeah. Continuing our X-Men run, and then after that we'll do a feedback episode, and then after that we'll start with X-Men Evolution. I would imagine by the time we get through that first season of Evolution, Phoenix would have already been out. So, and you and I are both the type of people that will probably watch that and have some thoughts on it pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to be doing that, and so that'll catch us up. I'm not catch us up, but that'll get you taken care of if you want to keep up with the podcast at all.
Hit us up with those the feedback and those questions on the entire. We haven't done one of those in a long time.
Yeah, it's true.
So hit us up.
daysoffuturecast.com/contact, or you can just email them to is it Gary at Duckfeed.tv? Is that the way that works?
Yep. Or you can tweet us. The other thing is if you have questions for Gambit or Beast, I missed or Gambit missed an entry of that. I realize I have to catch up on that, so I'm getting that a couple days late. I've fucked up the scheduling, so on my docket for today, but it is to tell Gambit, the actual person who exists, to get better about that. But if you have questions for Gambit or Beast, Dr. Name of Hank McCoy, go to curiouscat.me/DOFC podcast.
Yep. And DOFC podcast is also the Twitter. You can also find me on Twitter at JG Greer. Gary is at Gary Buh, BUH. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for the finale. The grand finale, the season, the conclusion to the season-long character arc that is the Incredible Hulk.
The gigantic wet fart that ends this animated series. So look forward to it.